All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again, and today we're going to be talking about 11 surprising SEO tactics that actually work. These are all things that you really wouldn't expect to work, but they do. And definitely be sure to watch till the end because there are some bangers in here. All right, let's get into it. So I'm Chris Gegis, and you may know me from my link building agency over at sirlinksalot.co or our other YouTube channel or Facebook group. Or maybe you've seen me around at some SEO conferences or on some other podcasts, but you can go to my website for more information on me. So I got the idea for this video when I was making this video on Reddit Topical Authority the other day. I found some cool ideas. I found a cool thread and I had some really good suggestions in there, and I added some suggestions of my own. And I can also just add a ton of value to some stuff that was in the thread as well. So for surprising tactic number one, we have random website updates. And this is not content updates. These are just other random updates to your website. Some examples of this could be changing your theme or changing your menu bar up top, some of the things you have in your navigation. Or if you've got sidebars, changing the things that are on your sidebars, or even changing your footer down here at the bottom. And why I think this works is that you are essentially changing a large amount of code on your website. And so Google sees you as kind of editing your website, keeping your website up to date, and they get things recrawled and just kind of give you a little bit of a ranking boost. Doesn't work all the time, but it definitely does work. And every time that it does work, I'm always super surprised. But it's never something I really try to do. It's something that I just kind of notice happens when I'm doing work on a website. Now, before you go and just start changing your themes and changing your menus and everything, I wouldn't say to just try to do this stuff for ranking results. It's just something that I've noticed. But yeah, don't just go in and start changing your theme back and forth trying to get better ranking. It doesn't really work like that. For number two on the list, we have content freshness, which is when you go in and you edit your article to make it a little bit better. Google now sees the content as fresh because it's recently been edited or changed. And you can get crazy ranking boosts from doing this. I made this video on my channel about 2 months ago, this one right here, the easiest SEO win ever. So you can watch that for more information. But basically, I increased the site's traffic by 35% in 1 month just by updating some random articles on the website. I didn't even update all the articles. I probably only updated about 10% of them, but the entire website saw a nice little boost. The first way that you can do this is just going into your articles and rereading them and using your brain, really. Like when I made this video over here, when I got this 35% boost, I didn't use any tools at all. I was literally just going through some old articles on one of our websites, improving the content to make it better, adding some new H2 sections, adding some new internal linking, just making it better for users to read, giving them more information that they'd actually want. If you wanted to use a tool, you could use something like Surfer SEO to make sure you're getting all of the entities in your article. You can see maybe there's some entities that your competitors have that they've added in the past year or so that you don't have yet, and you could add those to your article or new sections on them as well. Or you could come over to ChatGPT and use a prompt like this. What does this article not mention that users might be interested in? Bullet point list, don't explain each. Then copy and paste your article in there. And then ChatGPT will give you some good ideas for additional sections or topics you could add to your article. Also on your website, if you have a post date or an updated date that is usually displayed up at the top by your title, go ahead and make sure those get changed to the new dates as well. Next up for number three on the list, we have spam backlinks. And yes, I have a link building agency. No, we don't sell spam backlinks. So no, I do not benefit from saying this. But yeah, you can actually get really good ranking results just from using links that people say that you definitely should not be using. When this really clicked for me was when a competitor did a toxic link blast at one of the URLs on one of my websites. And it ended up giving us a really solid ranking increase, and the rankings didn't really go down after they did it. What they used was a toxic blog comment blast where they used a bunch of exact match anchors. All the links were coming from super spammed out websites, but it had a drastic impact on our rankings. And yeah, it was awesome. Some links that could be considered spam are links from Fiverr, guest post farms, blog comment spam, auto-generated spam. All of this stuff can and does work. However, it also elevates your risk. And I can't really recommend people doing this unless you are more of an advanced SEO. If you do decide to do it, I would not do what these guys did and send the links to an inner page with a bunch of exact match anchors. What I would do instead is use the spam to send to your homepage, use natural anchors like branded anchors, URL anchors, generic anchors, and definitely make sure that these are not the only types of links that you're building. It's better to do these in conjunction with a more solid link building approach. So basically to add it in as a form of diversity rather than your link building strategy. So you're building a bunch of other good quality links as well. And then on top of that, you kind of inject a little bit of spam in there to kind of enhance some crawlability, add a little randomness. We've also got this case study on our blog over at sirlinksalot where Nick sent a bunch of spam in conjunction with using a 301 redirect and a bunch of other quality link building at the same time to really get this site up and off the ground. And it ended up going from about 0 to 40K traffic or so in a couple months. But again, this is an advanced tactic. This is a black hat tactic. There is elevated risk here, so really proceed with caution if you're doing this kind of thing. For number 4 on the list, we have adding more internal links to your articles. So if you come over to this article on our website, you will see a bunch of internal links going to a bunch of other articles and service pages on our website. And much like the tactic for number 1, by updating content freshness, I feel like this works in very much the same way. Adding more internal linking to your website just helps Google understand your website better, helps bots crawl around your website better, helps to add relevance to all of your articles. The bad thing about internal linking is I feel like there's not a very good automated solution for it yet, and I've tried a bunch of them. So if it's possible, the best way to add good internal linking to your websites is to know what the website's goal is, to actually have a good understanding of all the articles, all the content on the website, and then to go through and read the article and just add things in naturally. So when you are adding internal linking, first of all, you want to drive traffic to pages on your website that actually will make you money. So for example, we are driving traffic to our age domain service page here. Next up, you want to drive traffic to relevant articles, just articles that are related to the content that you're reading. And lastly, just link to stuff that would actually help the users. So for example, in this part of the article, we're talking about the types of backlinks we built, and then we link to an article about what a diverse link profile is and how to build one. So when in doubt, just ask yourself, would the user actually click this and want to read it and get more information? Would it help them on their little journey that they're already on our website? One way that you can find articles that are relevant to whatever you're writing about is, so for example, let's say we're writing an article about guest posts on Sir Links-a-Lot, and we want to find what other articles on our website are relevant to guest posts. Then we can do a search like this, site : and then your website name, and then whatever the main keyword is that you're writing about. Now Google will just show you the articles on your website that it thinks are the most relevant, and then you could link to these articles. This is definitely something that I do all the time, especially if I'm not super familiar with the website that I'm working on. For a more automated solution, you could use something like Link Whisper, but just an FYI, I don't really use this at all anymore, but probably one of the better automated solutions out there. And lastly, of course, you could come over and grab your sitemap, grab all the links from your sitemap, then go back over to ChatGPT. Then you could use a prompt like this: which of these articles are the most related to my keyword guest post? Then go ahead and paste your sitemap in there, and ChatGPT will do an okay job of telling you some articles that are pretty relevant. Just remember, when you are using ChatGPT, a lot of the times it doesn't do very well when it's using a lot of data. So if you are putting a very big sitemap in there, it might not really do the best job. You might have to split it up. All right, so for number 5 on the list, we have AI content. Yes, AI content still does rank on Google. However, just like the spam backlinks example, you do run an elevated risk if you are using a lot of AI content on your website. So I can't really tell you to go and spam your website with AI content. However, do remember that it is working, and I have seen a lot of copy and paste AI content still working and ranking quite well. But again, proceed with caution here, and I'll give you some tips on how to do this in a more safe way. So first of all, when you are writing your AI content, ChatGPT or Claude both work just fine. I mainly still use ChatGPT myself, but I know a lot of people are moving over to Claude, and I'll have to do some experimenting, and I'll make some videos on that for you guys here in a bit. And to make sure you catch those videos when they come out, go ahead and give my channel a subscribe and give my video a like while you're at it if you're enjoying the content. So yes, you can use ChatGPT to write your content. However, I highly suggest doing the outline yourself, because I feel like doing the outline yourself creates a much better article. So first of all, you can come over to ChatGPT and you can get them to make a kind of rough draft outline for you for some ideas. And then what I like to do is go look at some of the top rankers for whatever keyword you're trying to rank for, and then using an extension like detailed over here to look at their headings. And then you can go and look at the headings for all of the top, let's say 1, 2, 3 top rankers, get some good ideas from them, put them all together in a better outline. And hopefully with some ChatGPT brainstorming, you can brainstorm some additional sections that none of your competitors have yet. Again, if you want to define sections that they don't have, you could do the same thing we did before and copy and paste their whole article in. What section does this article have that readers might like? So this article does not have any information on templates and pitches, so that could be a good section to add into our new article. Then you could have ChatGPT write the article section by section. And then I highly suggest using an AI editing SOP like I've got here. I use this on all content that's created using AI. The big things are really fact checking, adding in some EAT and information gain. And a lot of people have been asking me for this checklist. I plan to give it away in the next month or so. So subscribe to the channel and I'll let you know how to get it soon. Next up, for number 6 on the list, we have 0 search volume keywords. These are keywords that have 0 search volume. However, the tools are usually not right. They actually do get search volume. And so by creating content around these 0 search volume keywords, you can rank for them easier because they generally have low competition because no one else wants to write them. You get keywords that your competitors don't have. You're building your topical authority. You're first to market, so it's easier to rank for them. And then you can additionally maybe get some free backlinks from them because there's no other content. So people could link to your content because it's really the only one that's out there for it. You could use a tool like Ahrefs and apply some filters like low keyword difficulty up to volume 20 to find some really low competition, low volume stuff like this. However, my favorite way to do it these days is using this Reddit method that I talked about in this video. So definitely watch that video for more information. But basically what it entails is coming over to Reddit, finding a subreddit on your topic, changing the filter to top and this week or this month, and then scrolling down and using your brain and just seeing what are some popular topics that people are actually talking about and commenting on. And then go and just copy and pasting that keyword into Google and seeing if it's got a low search volume or not. And actually the way I found the keyword idea or the idea for this video was from using this method. I actually found the thread that was surprising SEO tactics. And now here I am creating content on it. Next up for number 7, we have PBN links. A lot of people think that PBN links are dead. There was an update maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years ago that knocked out a bunch of PBN networks. But the people that actually were more invested in black hat SEO and link building figured out how to do PBN links properly, made some adjustments, and they are working just as well now as they have ever before. We actually do provide PBN links over on our link building agency over here. However, they make up a very small portion of our revenue, so don't think I'm just saying this to try to make some money. You can get PBN links from us or from anyone else. There's plenty of good providers out there. But just remember, this is a black hat tactic. This does have elevated risk, and some things that you can do to try to keep yourself a bit safer when you're using PBNs is to use them naturally. Use them to make up less than 5% of your backlink profile. Instead of slamming inner pages with them, you can consider linking to your homepage instead. You could consider using natural anchor text with them instead of exact match anchor. So something like a branded, a URL, or a generic anchor. Because a lot of people, when they use PBN links, they just end up slamming inner pages, their service pages, their money pages, whatever, with exact match anchors. And they take something that's already unnatural and they make it even more unnatural. PBN links can still be insane for ranking results, but yeah, just proceed with caution. Try to follow link building best practices here. Get some link diversity in there. Just try to do things a little bit more naturally. Next up, for number 8 on the list, we have doing crappy content first. What that means is when you are adding new blog posts to your website, just try to get the blog posts up on your website as soon as possible. They do not have to be perfect. This is something that my partner Nick actually got me acquainted with quite a while back. And, I just wanted articles to be perfect right away, but it's actually way better to get the articles just up on your website as soon as possible. Let it start getting some ranking results, like let it actually get up to like page 2 or the bottom of page 1 or whatever. And then once it gets there, you can go in with a tool like Surfer SEO. You can edit the content to make it a lot better, make sure you got all the keywords in it that you need to have, make your headings better, make the article flow better, improve UX, do internal linking, add better images. And you can really get it ready for prime time, right? So it's at the bottom of page 1 or the top of page 2. Now you basically get it the rest of the way there by improving your content, doing things that'll help user experience, that'll help people not bounce off the article once they start reading it, making sure it's just super optimized with on-page SEO and getting everything that you need to have in the article. Because a lot of the time it can really take a long time before Google really starts recognizing the article and wanting to give it a boost and letting it rank higher. So just getting it up as soon as possible and letting it age for a bit can definitely save you a little time. Next up for number 9, we have adding numbers, emojis, trigger words, and dates to your title tags. Title tags are, of course, these blue things that you click on the Google SERP. And by adding things like numbers or dates or emojis or whatever to the title tags, you're really just drawing users' attention in and increasing your click-through rate. And as we found out in the Google leaks, Google is paying a lot more attention to clicks than we had previously thought, or at least was previously confirmed. And adding these things in the titles can definitely give you a significant boost. I actually don't do much emojis myself, but I know some people do. I'll start experimenting more with this and I'll let you guys know what I find. But I really like to add numbers. I like to use percentages a lot if possible. Trigger words could be something like secret or comprehensive guide. And then dates, of course, adding in something like the year tends to draw users' eyes as well. Next up for number 10, we have FAQs, except it doesn't really have to be an FAQ, and I'll kind of go into more of this in just a second. But of course, you can get FAQ ideas from searching for your keyword and then going down here, and you can see the people also ask section. You can expand each one, and it'll start adding even more sections to the accordion here. So these can be some good ideas for sections to add at the bottom of your article. You can add these questions as the H2 heading, or even H3. Your FAQ section could look something like this, just a heading and a little bit of text. What's cool about FAQ sections is you can get these exact match keywords into your article. You're getting them in a heading. And then, of course, adding the text underneath them, you're just getting a lot more relevance for whatever the heading is about. So really, it doesn't have to be an FAQ. The only reason that people do FAQs is because it's easy. You can scrape these things. You can get the exact match in there. really can just be looking up these FAQs and then adding these keywords throughout your articles in random other H2s and H3s and making sure you're talking about whatever the subject of the FAQ is. If you want, you can use an extension like Detail to come over and hit the advanced settings over here and then come and do enable PAA extraction, which is people also ask, this section right here. So you can automatically scrape these and export them to an Excel sheet. And then of course the plugin SEO minion does the same thing as well. And I'll be honest, I don't really like doing the FAQ section as much anymore, but what I like to do is use the people also ask section to get keyword ideas and then just put them throughout the article naturally instead of doing the FAQs at the bottom. And then lastly, for number 11, you can create separate articles for long tail keywords instead of getting all of the keywords in your one big article. So for example, the keyword, what are guest posts? These articles are going to be very big and comprehensive. So for example, this one here, everything you need to know about guest blogging, it's going to be a very long article that covers a ton of different stuff, right? And a lot of the time you can rank for just a ton of different keywords by having these big comprehensive articles. However, you can also kind of try to snipe these keywords by having a separate article for just one subtopic of the article. So for example, this guest post article, one subtopic might be guest posts versus link insertions. So you could then go and create a separate article on guest posts for link insertions and see if you could rank for this keyword on a separate article and hopefully rank higher because your article is just going to be more relevant, more targeted, right? Your title is going to be about this, your URL is going to be about this, the entire article is just about this rather than the big general article. However, when you are doing this, you need to be careful with keyword cannibalization to make sure your articles don't start trying to compete for that keyword. And if you notice any of that kind of stuff happening, then it'd be best to just delete the article and 301 redirect it back to the main article than trying to rank it separately. But it's something fun to kind of try to see if you can snipe some keywords, especially if you know that subtopic is more lucrative and everyone else is trying to rank with these very general articles, and you might be able to snipe it just by having this very much more relevant, more specific article on the topic. All right, guys, so those are 11 surprising SEO tactics that a lot of people say don't work, but they actually work quite well. But what do you think? What are some surprising SEO tactics that you've seen work that everyone says shouldn't work? Go and let me know down in the comments below. And if you're enjoying the content, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Helps me out a lot, guys. That's all I ask for. All right, bye-bye. See you next time.